What is up, Comic Fam? Welcome to the Legion of Comics. I'm Mark, and it's Sunday night, so this is at Week's End, the spoiler-filled look back at this week in comics and so much more. But before we get into any of that, check this out. Let's give a huge shout out to the Big Time Collectibles for sponsoring the channel and the monthly Legion Loot giveaway. If you're not a channel member, definitely consider joining the channel with that blue join button down below next to the subscribe button. It is a great month to do it. We'll talk more on that in just a little bit. Also, Justin Comics, if you need anything cleaned or pressed, hit him up on Instagram. He can take care of you for as little as $10 a book. You can also submit directly to CBCS or CGC for you, whichever the preference. And if you use that promo code WeAreLegion, you can take advantage of the current sales special offer thing that he's got running right now. He changes it up, so you got to contact him to find out what it is. I'm sure it's great, though. And, of course, shout out to the Book Exchange. Without them, this isn't possible. And tonight, the Comic Vet most likely isn't going to make it, and Ryan's running a little bit late, so it is me and you guys for the time being. So let's go ahead and say hello to the chat. Now let's see what we got here. We got Wheelchair Superhero 87. What is going on? He says, hey, Comic Fam, we are Legion. We got Jeff Kendrick up in here. We are Legion, an awesome channel member right there. The Augusta Book Exchange themselves are up in here. Hello, Paul and Donna. Morning, all. I'm at work, so please keep it down. I really don't care. I'm tired and got to be here all night. Well, I hope you have a good night. Stephen C., another awesome channel member. What is up, Legionnaires? DJ Links. Yo, want to simulcast the drawing? Yeah, I'll send you the link, Nick, if you just want to hop on here and do it. Or what do you want me to do? Just like share screen and go on to what do you call it? Instagram. Let me know. So Nick's Kicks and Comics just did a round of mystery boxes, and there's a GP that has gotten added to the mystery boxes. And inside of that GP, or for the GP, it is a Black Panther number 3. And I'm sure I'm going to butcher this name, but it's like Tosin Tosin or Tosin is this new character that people are speculating could potentially be the next Black Panther in the MCU, since they're not going to be recasting the role of T'Challa since Chadwick Boseman passed. But yeah, let me know, Nikolai. Flo Dameron's up in here. What is up, everyone? We are Legion. Throwing those custom emojis. And as you can see, not on my screen, but down in the live chat, there is a new custom emoji that got added. Nick's making me work. I sent you the link to join, Nick, if you want to join to do the giveaway, and I'll send you the video link to put into the group chat so that people in that group chat can watch. So we're going to do the GP drawing, it looks like. So Nick, there's the link to join for you, and then the link to this stream for them to watch. Oh, there's Nick. There we go. Boom, bang, pow. What?
Yo. Yeah, I don't want to take up too much of your time because I figured since I saw links.
Do I look busy?
No, but it's your show. I don't want to.
No, this is perfectly fine. I'm glad I have someone to talk to. That worked out perfect. Ryan's getting the kids to bed, and Comic Vet's got some stuff going on. And Yeah, yeah.
So
Did you see the picture of what Finn got from Walmart?
I did.
So he hit the toy aisle, and the first thing that he saw, like he saw, like he walks by everything. I want that, I want that, I want that. But he actually landed on that remote controlled Batmobile for the Batman movie from the actual not the McFarlane stuff or anything like that, but the actual Batman line. And I'd already spotted one up top that actually comes with Batman. And I'm like, let me go with that because give this kid the remote control one. It's fun just when he takes it out and he gets bored. He's not like too keen on remote control stuff. So I jumped up, got that down. It's awesome, dude. It the headlights light up, the tail fire lights up. It does all the revving up. It's super cool, man.
It makes the noises too.
Yeah, a lot of different noises. It's awesome. We've already killed all the lights in the house and set it up and hit the button a few times. It was wild.
I may be at Walmart in the morning.
Yeah, it was cool. We got Pop's Attic up in here. What's up, big guy? Logic Blaster, what is going on? DJ Link's throwing all those custom emojis. That's what I'm talking about. Thought they were giving the part to Shuri, Letitia. I think that was like the first rumor that started. I think she had the best looking odds or whatever. But I don't know if that's going to pan out. There's been a lot of stuff from the time of Chadwick Boseman's passing and now that I don't know if that's what they're going to be attempting to do long term or not. I don't think that she's been getting along with Disney from what I've heard.
Yeah, she's always a sentence away from getting fired, I think.
Yeah, she stays right there. TM Nerdy, what is going on, brother? He had an awesome post today on IG. Hit you right in the feels.
All right, give me a second. Hey, Mark, if you want to share the screen, I'll get it going. We can get talking some end of the week.
Boom, bang, bow, boom. Wrong one.
Am I sharing the wrong one? Yeah, all right, there it is. All right, so there you guys can see. We got Picking and Punching, the Hat Dude, Legion, Southern Comic Geek coming in the clutch with the last box bought. Pocan Joe, DJ Links, Mr. Mike Becker, There Can Only Be Vaughn, The Vet, and Chubby Pop Chaser. And in, I guess, in reference to the 10 people buying, we'll shuffle 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, and we'll get it going. Good luck, everybody. It's my first time doing one of these.
Wheel of Names, they're pretty cool. Pocan Joe.
All right. Well, he did say he wanted, his terms for buying the box were to win the GP and get the highest one. So, congrats, Pocan Joe.
He didn't let himself down.
No, he put the pressure on me. Thanks, guys.
What is going on, Tony Fett?
I'll hit you up in the chat. Appreciate it. I don't know. Do you like IG Live?
I think I've done it like 2 or 3 times. Like when we went, when me and my wife pulled it was like a 2-foot diameter turtle out of the middle of a busy road we have here, and drove to the Mexican restaurant we always eat at that has a turtle pond, like a big turtle pond in front of it, and we IG Live setting the turtle free. Other than that, I think I did one on vacation. I don't really do them. They seem choppy to me even to watch. I don't like the interaction. The chat's so small. It just I don't get the allure of it.
Yeah, but always a sentence away.
Digger Jim is up in the chat. What is going on?
He had a good day today.
What was that? That Toy Store he went to?
A lot of goodies. I think it was like a little convention that he went to.
Mars Comics is up in here. Hello, hello. Brother John is in the building. What's good? The Pocan's in the chat. There you go. Yes.
This is what he wanted. And he's rich. He gets what he wants.
Yeah, that's how it goes. So Finn got his Batmobile. I did pick up the McFarlane Batman. They only had one of these left in the store, and they also had the one without his mask on, but I really didn't care for that one. Not like it's bad. I just wanted just this one figure from the movie line. And as soon as I grabbed it, I walked away. I'm like, should I get the Riddler too? And I even went back and looked. I'm like, no, I'm going to leave it.
Was that the big one?
No, this is the standard one. They had that. You're talking about the Riddler or this?
The Riddler one, yeah.
No, it was. It looked the same size box. Like I thought about that too. I still haven't seen one of those deluxe ones in person.
Yeah, I called one last week. I saw one. It was pretty nice.
Let's see. Is Panda having a hangout? I think he said that he wasn't going to be able to do one tonight because he had stuff going on with the kids. He typically does his before this one, Eli.
Yeah, he said he wasn't having one. His is usually about 5:30, I think it is.
Yeah, 6:30 my time, so that would be, I don't know when for your time.
Real time, it's an hour early on the East Coast.
Yeah, I hear you. Nick, did you pick up anything this week? Any new books? I know you've been busy.
No new books. Oh, well, I got this in the mail, finally. Jang Gang.
Oh, is that number 3?
This is number 3.
You pre-ordered it, already slabbed?
I pre-ordered it, already slabbed. I think it was like last May. That's actually a thank you to Panda because he brokered a deal for me, so that's kind of like a thank you to him. So
I remember that one. I thought he was getting a signed one.
yeah, no, that one's coming too. That's number 5.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I'm excited for when they finally release that one. That I like how for the whole Jang set, because Jang did do a cover for each one. His cover run didn't get interrupted like people like Bartling's cover was like the highest selling number 1 or the highest valued issue number 1, and he only was able to do like 2 covers, and I think he came back for number 5. So he didn't get to do 3 or 4 for the series, which sucks. But Jang went uninterrupted, and he did 1, 3, and 5 as wraparound. So it's pretty cool how it's balanced out like that. What is going on, Charmin? The official paper supplier for Marvel Comics. We are 2-ply.
I don't even think they're 2-ply. All right, there were what, 5 or 6 titles that got really shitty paper quality this past week?
Oh my God, yeah. The only one that I picked up, and I showed it Friday when I was on the Hangout, when I was doing the community Hangout, but the Maestro book was the only one that I picked up, and just holding it up with your fingertips, it just hangs over your fingers, just flops. But I'll tell you, like I was not being kind to it, like I wasn't sitting there trying to be careful with it or anything. I was just letting it flop, and it didn't get a single spine tick. The paper is so thin that it doesn't actually damage it to flop around like that. It's like newspaper, how you can bend it and fold it, and it doesn't actually tear.
Yeah, and ink probably won't get on your fingers also.
I didn't check that. I probably should have. But I don't know if anyone else in the chat has been reading this, but that Maestro World War M, that second issue came out this week. That was a really, really fun read, really solid read. Maestro followed the OG Human Torch all the way back to Pacifica or something like that. It was Atlantis, but in the Pacific Ocean, where Namor, all these years later, had a wife and son. His son is named Leonard. His wife is named Nemu.
Hold on. His son is named Leonard?
Leonard. oh, Leonard. Right there.
He looks completely like a Leonard.
That's a Leonard all day.
I have that cover of Maestro also.
Yeah, say what you want. I've been reading Maestro. I hope your book is as good as mine's been, because this has been really good. But I do pick up like all the covers that they have available. I think somebody has beaten me to the. There's like one person ahead of me when it comes to the ratios. What is going on, Ryan? On the run.
What is up?
Ryan's on the run.
Ryan on the run.
Yeah, running from some kids. Yeah,
I hear you.
Are you going to drive by, slap somebody? That's the thing going on this week.
So if you didn't hear Ryan, Submariner's son, his name is Leonard.
The only thing
anticlimactic at all.
Yeah, the only thing worse than that is the paper quality on the book itself.
Freaking Leonard. And his wife's name is Nemu. Nemu. Nammu. I'm pretty sure if you replace the N with an S, you get Shamu, right?
Right? That's what I thought. I heard it the first.
That's probably where it comes from too. We ran out of cool names like Leonard. Let's try Shamu.
Oh, that's trademarked. All right.
Back to the movie.
Namu.
But yeah, here's the paper quality. Like it just flops. Even in the middle, like where the spine is. Like it was printed on like newspaper.
Maybe it's biodegradable paper.
We'll see. We'll see. But dude, it's just
Really killing the collector's value there.
I don't know. Because I was mentioning like I did all that. Look, just hold it up and it just flops.
That's what she said.
It just flops, but it doesn't get any like spine stress on it when you do that. And for those that are like freaking out, how can you do that to your book? It's just a reader. I just read it and put it up. This isn't like a book that's ever going to be worthy of getting great. It's just a phenomenal read. It doesn't have any inherent long-term staying value. Let's see. Oh, wait. Here comes Pops with the knowledge. His father was Leonard Mackenzie. Damn it. So he named his son after his father, Leonard.
Right.
So that solved that.
Although his friends call him Lenny.
His friends call him Lenny. Golly. It was not knowing that as I was reading like Leonard. And he wasn't calling him like anything short. Leo, Lenny, nothing, just Leonard.
Leon.
But his son was really hot-headed and ready to just get up there and fight the Hulk and everything, and it went south. Leonard, and his mother Shamu got crushed. It was eventful. It was eventful.
Wow.
Hey, well, I wanted to thank you. I got to hop off quick. We're trying to get ready for Monday, but thank you.
Wrapping on.
No, I appreciate you picking up a box. Yours should be getting to you in the next day or so, I hope.
Yeah, Tuesday is what USPS says. But if my local USPS has anything to say about it, that won't be true.
Can only hope.
But for the record, that unboxing of that mystery box that you sent me, Nick, is scheduled for April 8th.
Yeah, and I wish you would use another goddamn thumbnail instead.
That's a different video. That thumbnail is the AOR you sent me. The actual mystery box thumbnail is a different one. That AOR, that one will be out Wednesday of this week.
Act of restitution. Have a good one, Ryan. Keep that car running just in case somebody runs up on you. All right.
I know, right?
All right, Nick.
Peace to Leonard.
Drive, man. I'm just sitting on the brake.
What's going on, Ronnie Boy Comics? How are you doing tonight? Yeah. Brother John's also in here with them facts. Also the name of Digger, Jim, and I's father. It's a fine name. It was just so out of place. I wasn't expecting. You got Namor, Maestro, Human Torch, Namu, Leonard.
Leonard. Was that from the Namor book?
The Maestro, World War M.
Oh,
You've got like the original Human Torch, the Abomination, and Submariner were trying to pretty much shut down Maestro. He brought the fight to them, killed his son and his wife, and then they all get teleported out by Doctor Doom at the end. And it kind of ends on that note, like they're all going to try to band together to stop him. And we all know that it's not going to work. This is just, they've been a trilogy, a little 3-part miniseries, giving us the prequel to Future Imperfect. Jackson versus Leonard, the ocean battle. What is going on, Austin LeMay? How are you doing this evening? Brian LCS is up in the building. He's got his community awards that he's doing again this year. He just started posting some dates and categories and stuff for that. If anybody is interested in what's going on with that, be sure to check out his YouTube channel as well as over on Instagram as well. You can stay informed on that. That's been some cool stuff. Ryan, I've talked with Nick about this, talked to a lot of people about it. My eye itches. I'm sorry, y'all. Just all this pollen's killing me.
Oh, my God. It's been coming down.
And once you start scratching it to make it feel better, as soon as you move your finger, it itches again.
Yeah.
But did you watch the Batman movie yet?
No, I still haven't seen it.
Jesus Christ! Did you watch the deleted scene that hit the interwebs?
No. What was that?
Oh my God! This movie is so good, man. So there was a deleted scene with the Joker. The whole movie has got a bunch of homages to other really famous movies that have come before it. It's like kind of built on the backs of the giants that came first. And Matt Reeves did an homage to Silence of the Lambs, where Batman goes to Arkham Asylum with the case file for the Riddler that he cannot crack, and he hands it over to one of the inmates to get them to help assess and kind of criminal profile this person. And the person he hands it to is the Joker. And the scene is amazing, but they kind of hold, like, they keep it where the Joker's face is blurry the whole time, like there's the safety glass between them, so the camera's always behind Joker when you're in the room with Joker looking at Batman, or you're behind Batman looking at the Joker and it's blurry and distorted from looking through the glass. And then finally at the end of it, you kind of get this pan up look of what his Joker looks like. And yeah, I got a picture of it. There he is.
Yeah.
Right. So this version he put out in an interview, and he talked about it after the movie came out, that he had this deleted scene. And in his version of the Joker, it's not like he was dropped in acid by Batman. He was born with this condition that causes the muscles in his face to pull up into that smile, and it's just over the years driven him crazy just with the way he was raised and the experiences that he kind of went through having that condition. And the scene is awesome. You should check it out. It's wicked, but it really leaves a lot to be imagined. I can feel Mark's frustration in Missouri. Let him have it, Mark. Show canceled. But let's just jump into some books, my man. I know that you had some to read. I'm just going to burn through what I got. I'm got that Godzilla versus Mighty Morphin Power Rangers from IDW, which that was really fun.
Kind of remedied one of those problems you've been running into, huh? That's your first Colin Bunn experience.
Oh, yeah. Power Rangers Universe number 4.
I still haven't read any of those.
Yeah, I've just been buying them and handing them to Finn. Department of Truth, issue number 17. Lucky number 17 right there. And then there's this book that came out. It's called Twisted. That's how it's spelled. That's how Twisted. Haunted Highons. But it's a Jane cover, and it was one that I could order from the LCS. So I ordered and got a few of those. So apparently it has something to do with like the Insane Clown Posse or something. It's a book that, what are they called? The Insane Clown Posse fans, they have like a name. Juggalos. Like it's a juggalo or something.
Which I think Source Point Press is in Michigan.
Are they juggalos?
I don't know. But isn't Insane Clown Posse, they have something to do with Michigan as well, don't they?
I have no clue. I just watched that guy on Instagram, like Superhuman something, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And he does all those crazy stunts in his backyard where he just front flips onto cactuses and stuff. And he's always shouting out juggalos in his videos. He's a fantastic Instagrammer, like one of the best. He deserves awards. But Human Target, issue number 6, which is the halfway point. And now we've got a few months to wait before the second half. Smallwood has got to get here and catch up. Yes, right? So good.
That issue was insane.
Action Comics 1041. Deep Target number 6. I'm still loving this book.
It's one of those, like, I kind of want to get caught up on it. At the same time, I'm like, I don't know. It's probably not yet enough to, like, really dive into.
No, there's nothing to dive into.
The first issue was so surprisingly good that I kind of want to, you know?
Yeah. Like I would say, I don't want to get into this with people, but it's not possible because I think I'm the only person that I've ever met that's read it. Detective Comics 258, the finale to the weekly event Shadows of the Bat. And then let's see, Teen Titans Academy number 13, which is the War for Earth 3 Part 4. So next week, Tuesday, will be the finale for the War for Earth 3. And then man, this is probably my pick of the week, is Rogues, Joshua Williams' Black Label title. this was really, really well done.
I want to read that one, but I haven't got to it yet.
Yeah, I want more. I want to read the second one. Well, let's see. We got some information here from Stephen C. Twisted is one of the other groups that performed with ICP. They broke off and are either writers or editors for those books. That's pretty cool. Cancel Tom King. He heard some spoilers about that issue.
Cancel him. I thought it was amazing.
Human Target was great. And bonus, outraged the hate posters. Yeah, it pisses a lot of people off. And I spent a good 30 minutes Saturday in a chat for like one of these semi-bigger toxic channels that just complain about everything with comics. And just sat there and just preached Tom King in the chat because it's just people that just naturally, they don't read any of his stuff, but just hate all of it. And their whole complaint is, oh, they're doing character assassination on Guy Gardner. I'm like, is it really though? Is it really? He's egotistical. He's hot-headed. He's prideful. He's aggressive. He's all of the things. He has all the exact same characteristics, but they kind of just push those characteristics. And if you can't see a natural progression of who Guy Gardner is, and their thing was like, he's not a stalker. He's not a stalker. And he wasn't really being a stalker. He's just being aggressive, dick-headed ex-boyfriend, you know? And if you can't see a natural progression of those traits to that, you're just wanting to hate something.
Yeah.
Oh, Human Target.
I really don't know much about Guy Gardner other than in Future State, whenever he was in there.
Yeah, it was really brief too. He had that really cool story where he was marooned on that planet that he spent all these years. It was really good. And so that whole thing
this version is like in line with what I know from that book. So
yeah, because remember how he started in that story and he had to literally change everything about who he was to be able to successfully live on this planet and like lead a people. He couldn't be those things.
Yeah.
So there's nothing out of character about Human Target. People just want to complain about. They just think it's fun. It's trendy in their circles. Isn't Guy Gardner a woman beater? I don't think in his history he's ever Ant-Man'd any females, but I don't know. I could be wrong. That's always been his character. Exactly. So let's talk about Human Target because this is the halfway point. The whole premise of this book, it's a 12-issue maxi series by Tom King and Greg Smallwood, is it? That's doing the phenomenal work on the inside. Whether this art is necessarily your flavor or not, it's fantastic for his style and the way that he's carrying the story. It just paces perfectly with the writing. But the premise is Christopher Chance is hired to stand in for whoever hires him, then take an assassination shot at him instead of the important character that hires him. And Lex Luthor hires him. He ends up getting drugged, and he has 12 days to live, and he's trying to solve that case. So every issue of the book is one of the days getting closer to his death while he's trying to solve it. Primary suspects are the Justice League International. I'm going to make Finn some cold water, Ryan, so take off.
Ryan. Hey, Ryan.
Hi.
Finn.
He knows your name, buddy.
I know you're Finn.
And Pop Pop's in the chat, too. So tell Pop Pop, hey, he can hear you and see you.
Hey, Papa. Thank you.
Yeah, if you wait, you'll see he'll type something, will pop up. But what did you think of this halfway point, this mid-season finale, basically?
Which one?
I mean, I thought it was a great great break, you know, especially like taking a hiatus because it's just like a great cliffhanger because we've seen Christopher Chance handle everything so well. Like he's facing his own mortality like extremely well, considering he knows he has like 12 days to live. And every day he like is kind of keeping it together and trying to solve the mystery of his own murder, you know. But in this issue, we really start to see like how much the substance abuse is starting to take its toll on him, as well as the poison in general. A lot of the like interactions he has to have socially to do this investigation, you know, like that's starting to kind of come unraveled as well. And that's throwing monkey wrenches into the whole thing. And then to see like how things went down with Guy Gardner, you know, and see how he's kind of like starting to feel the effects of everything and come unraveled. So I thought it was a great cliffhanger because now I got like what 2, 3, 4 months or something to think about like how is Christopher Chance gonna like keep his brain intact and keep his mind together as he like really goes into the throes of dying from poisoning.
And to John's point, they don't like how King handled Martian Manhunter or Guy. Yeah, and I think both of them added a really cool element to it. What I do want to point out that this book is a Black Label title, and I hear a lot of people using the how DC announced that everything is continuity now, and people for some reason cannot grasp that concept properly. How DC is using it, which is the literal same way they have ever used their continuity before they said that statement. You can use Kingdom Come, prime example, was written and it existed inside its own Earth. It was an Elseworld title. It affected nothing else until the day they wrote it into something else when they brought over Earth 22 and let those characters interact. It's the same way with everything. It always has been. Saying everything is continuity doesn't mean it's the same timeline. It doesn't mean it's the same Earth. It just means that it has the potential to interact if they ever so choose to. So Human Target, these characters, these versions of these characters, this timeline exists only inside of the pages of Human Target. So that gives Tom King room to take these characters and do things with them you might not see, you might not be able to do with them, like kill off certain characters, which we saw in this issue, which was one of the toughest scenes in the series so far. Like it was really cool, and the little subtleness that goes into these big events, I think, has been one of the biggest things that's delivered for this series for me. And it goes all the way back to that first issue, or the second issue, when he first talks to Ice, and you think he's just lollygagging, hitting on this girl the whole issue, but then the last page, it does a little twist where he was actually working the case on her, and you kind of in your head can hear the music pick up and the doo-doo-doo. Yeah. You get like credits rolling in. You're like, oh, so that's how this book's going to be. And it's really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm really excited to see where it goes from here because it's about to get real messy, you know.
Yeah, and I don't remember that happening one bit, but I do remember people that I do remember in that same chat I was in. They were trying to talk about how that was happening, but yeah, that actually didn't happen in the book, but. Cool. Ton of nickels. But it was I thought it was cool too how like we were told in the beginning of this issue they're trying to divert the attention from Fire. She was wanting to divert the attention from Fire, and then we have all these really serious events take place inside of the issue, and then at the end when everything cools off and he's talking to the guy in the diner and he makes that one comment about how easily a woman can distract you, and he just realized he just wasted an entire day. The dude has at this point like 6 days left to live, and he burned an entire day not even thinking about it. And you kind of get the little catch for this issue. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, the little like post credits piece.
Yeah,
that's a good setup. Like I said, I think it's gonna get real messy. It's gonna be really cool to see where it goes from here because I feel like these first like the first 5 issues, I mean, dude drank poison and he's been like keeping it together so well, you know.
He has his moments
to show the unraveling of the edges, you know. And so I can't wait to see where we go for the next 6 issues because dude's about to come like completely unhinged, you know.
Yeah, we see where that's being used against him in places too, like when he gets his shoulder hit and he's talking about how he's weaker, and then when he starts his coughing fit and Ice doesn't want to help him because she's mad at him, and how he's just he's starting to drink a little bit more to try to push through everything. But yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a good issue. Did you check out Tom King's other book this week?
The one you sent me?
Yeah.
No, I have not. Real quick. So where the people are complaining of saying that there is a sex scene after the death of Guy Gardner. There absolutely was not. I actually just went back to the pages because I read the book, and it didn't happen. After he dies, they come up and embrace each other, and then they start talking. The whole time Guy is melting. You see that clump of ice cube. They're they're processing what to do because they didn't expect that between themselves either. That doesn't happen. Like, so if you're watching those channels that are just off the cuff trashing books and you're not reading them, I would recommend not taking stock in what they're saying and check for yourself, because it was actually a good book. And yeah, that didn't happen in one bit. And if it did, he wouldn't have melted. The corpse would have stayed frozen. Yeah. Had you been reading the earlier issues, you would have seen that as well.
They froze the pipes in the morning.
Yep.
Killed Guy Gardner at night.
Yeah, do what you got to do. So the other book is off of his Substack, right?
Yeah. Him and Elsa Chartier.
I saved the issue 2, and I could have sworn you sent me issue 1 a while back, but I didn't get a chance to read that, and it kind of just fell off into the somewhere in my email. So you're gonna have to resend me that one for me to get into it.
Yeah. This second issue was really cool. It was very it reminded me a lot of Hateful Eight, Tarantino film. Great pacing and building and plotting and anyway, yeah. So this issue was basically like two people born into different tiers of society. They're like in different tiers of society, right? So like he's supposed to go on to like carry the family name, and he's fallen in love with basically the daughter of one of the like maids at the house, and so like you do all this like relationship stuff with them where they're like really cool friends as they're growing up, but then as they get older and he has to kind of like take on the role of the family name and stuff, he starts to they have to start to separate and stuff. And so you kind of see like just like a ton of buildup, right? And it's like really on trajectory for what you're expecting, and then at the end there's like this background player that's been there the whole time, like kind of shows up, and like everything goes off the rails. Next thing you know, like homegirl's got a shotgun and she's kind of badass with it. So it just reminded me a lot of like a Tarantino film, especially like Hateful Eight, where you're just like going through all these like, I think Chaos, or I had mentioned it, and Chaos referred to it as tedious. So I was like, I could see that as a fair assessment, because it did feel like toward the middle, I was like, okay, so like get to the point, like what's all this building to, but then you get to the end and you get all the fallout and stuff, and I'm like, this is great, So to me, it was a really solid issue. I'm enjoying this Love Everlasting thing he's doing over there. And, they give out the issues full, like 22-page issue for free. All of their paid stuff is behind the scenes and things like that, which is also really cool. But you do get the full issues of Love Everlasting for free. So it's only worth reading.
That was one thing that's kind of a turnoff with some of the Substack stuff. So when Tynan did his, he had the Project Blue book that he kind of kicked off with. Is that still happening?
Yeah, I think there's like 2 or 3 issues of that, but the first issue was free, and then after that, yeah, his is like 10 pages or something at a time.
And same for Jeff Lemire. His was really short. So I sampled some stuff. Substack. Yeah, Fish Eyes. I sampled that and the Project Blue Book one, and I really enjoyed Project Blue Book. Fish Eyes really didn't hit for me. It wasn't bad. I just guessed that it wasn't enough to really catch me yet, and I definitely don't like the idea of reading 10 pages and having to wait a while for another one. Well, I guess it would depend on the context of the story, man. Like I don't know why you're really, really trying to push that. Like it didn't happen. Like you'd have to read the next page. If you stop right there, you can fill in the blank with anything you want to imagine. But the next page has dialogue. They continue speaking, and then they continue getting up and making like they take actions. Like they get up and do it. You have to read the dialogue.
His last message kind of shows a deficit of morality, and it seems like he's kind of assuming that any character would act the same as he would. So I don't know. If you're a crappy person, then I guess you look for crappy people.
I can't speak on
that's totally not how that scene played out.
It definitely is. I don't want to sit here and beat a dead horse, but she definitely had pants on. She had the same outfit on she had when the whole event started. You know, it was morning time at the house. They were getting out of bed. They weren't naked. And then the very next page, she's sitting there with her pants on. Then the very next page, if you read all of this, it shows you what they do. Like from this panel, Smallwood decided to be creative and show you this ice melting to show you a concept of time passing. And if you read this dialogue, you see what they did while this time was passing, and it is not what you're implying or saying. So again, that's just, you're listening to the wrong panels, or if you read it that way, I'm sorry, reread it. That's just not what happened. And if it happened, I'd be happy to say it. Martian Manhunter, he got some. Like you'd have to, earlier in the issue, like when there wasn't a dead body, they got some, but they had bigger things on their mind, like, is his ring on? But Guy's notorious for turning his ring off, like he didn't like to be tracked and all this. So they were going through the motions of what do we do from here? And that is just no, I'm not defending a person that murdered someone. I'm defending the facts of the book that was written. Like you can try to twist, turn it all you want, but that's not what I'm doing. And it's not what happened in the book. That's kind of funny, but how, if you don't like being proven wrong, feel free. No, you ain't got to leave, but it's just a fact's a fact. He didn't, that isn't what happened in the book. So I've watched too many channels and I go to too many channels and participate in their chats to bring out like facts that happen versus what you're saying. So it's kind of funny. It's exactly what I was hearing on those other channels. It's literally misinformation to try to trash a book. Fictional characters. Yeah. Let's see. So I'm going to hit a couple.
Honestly, I kind of was hoping that truck was going to kill Guy Gardner in the 4th issue or whatever it was. So I'm sorry if people feel offended about how Guy Gardner's being treated, but that douchebag can get it any day. I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Enjoy Edgelord Tom King. I'm not stopping anyone. Yeah, I do enjoy it. If you follow the channel, we actually review in detail his books, and we actually read them. Not saying that you didn't read it, but we actually read them compared to many other channels that call him Edgelord or sit there and try to say that events took place that didn't take place, or they review Batcat, for example, and give you one text bubble out of context and run a narrative off of it. I actually cover all of that stuff here because I spend a lot of time on channels with conflicting ideas intentionally so that I can have heated and honest debates in their chats. But I come from a point of fact when I do it. I don't run with my emotions on it. It's just straight what happened in the book. And I showed you the panels to prove it. So Edgelord me. Teen Titans number 13. Edgelord 1. Other Mark, hashtag not me, 0. War for Earth 3, part 4. Which was pretty cool. These tie-ins have been pretty self-contained inside of the pages of their own books, where if you're reading Teen Titans but not following War for Earth 3, you're not greatly affected by it. It tends just to be what's causing the issue's event. If that makes any sense. Like they're not stopping the narrative of their own title like we saw. Like Nightwing got hit really hard with the Fear State. Like the actual slammed on brakes. He even changed locations for 2 issues. And they had to come back to the regular story. Not with this. That last issue, we saw that the tower got destroyed. We were shown that Brick was Red X. We watched Brick die at the hands of the real Red X that is the key player. We saw Nightwing leave to go try to find some help with somebody that we can only assume was Slade based off the events of Future State. And then we get to this issue, and they're all held up in a safe house, like a fallout house for the Titans, trying to regroup and get everything back together. And at the end of the issue, we see that Rick Flag and his Suicide Squad team that just went at Amanda Waller's, and it went south because it was on Earth 3, Crime Syndicate, a lot of factors that they didn't take into consideration, of course, are going to happen when you're dealing with Amanda Waller. So they're going and asking the Teen Titans for help. So they've all kind of agreed to, and the senior Titan members took off with them to go to Earth 3 to go handle it, as well as a few stowaways. So I'm excited for this final issue. It's going to be huge. It's going to be really huge, and it's been fun. I love the Crime Syndicate. As a matter of fact, me, Finn, and Monkey watched Crisis on Earth 2 today. They wanted to watch the Spectre cartoon that I was telling them about, and it's a bonus feature on the Crisis Blu-ray set. So we ended up watching Crisis as well, and that holds up. That's a fantastic movie. Only when a Tom King book drops, Flo was talking. He's taking it upon himself to try to give me as much slack as he can, or as much hell as he can for Tom King, and told him to bring it. So Ryan, heard I can get it, or I guess that means where can I get it? Guy Gardner. I heard I can get it. I want to be I want to assume who that might be. And I'm going to say Chip, because Chip's known to change his stuff quick. And Gardner's misspelled. So it's somebody not too familiar with the character. It's all continuity, stirring the pot, LOL. Hey, Flo. Hey, gents. Nicholas, what is going on? Warlord up in the building. Hello, hello. I'm your Uncle Barry. John's Comics was Kids was his Saturday show. He was talking to his daughters about Wyatt Earp and the comparisons between the movie Tombstone and Wyatt Earp. And dude, that was a really fun talk. That was really cool stuff. I enjoyed both of those movies. Tombstone definitely is superior. Give you a hard time, but defend your opinion well. What's up, Kyle? So what else did you read this week? I know you got a couple more on there.
Icon and Rocket number 6.
Still going strong?
Yeah, that series is a lot of fun, man. Like, I really like it because you had brought it up pretty early on. Like, he's a conservative black superhero,
Mm-hmm.
And like, so in this version, I don't know what it was like before, but in this version, basically he's like a 400-year-old alien,
Mm-hmm.
living on Earth. And then Rocket's like this young girl, she's like 16 or something in high school. And he's given her some alien tech so that, she has like some special abilities. Her main one being that she can basically absorb like kinetic energy and stuff and then unleash it. And so like, it's been really cool because, he was a superhero, but then he's kind of like just like faded into the background, is like trying to be pretty quiet. And, he's playing the long game of like eventually Earth's technology will get advanced enough that he can fix his spaceship and go home. But in the meantime, he lives here, and he's, lived through so many eras. He's seen so many different things, and so like kind of like questioning, they do a really good job of like questioning the system. And so in pursuit of like training her, right, he kind of lets her do things that he knows isn't necessarily going to go well, but it's because it's lessons she needs to learn, because he can see that, like, he believes that Rocket could become the person that could unify the planet, and it would, like as society evolves and stuff and Earthlings become more advanced, they'll be ready to join the Intergalactic Federation, and so he's thinking on those lines, like, who is the person that would be powerful enough to unite everybody and bring them together so that there would be good representation for Earth on the intergalactic scale. And so he sees Rocket for this position. And so the way he trains her, he lets her do things that he knows may eventually not really work, And so, he lets her like take out all the drug dealers, right? She's like, why can't we just get rid of all the drug dealers, like in Dakota, and then like everything would be perfect, right? And he's like, not really, but try it, see what happens. And so she goes out and she like takes out all the drug dealers, but then because there's so little drugs, like now the price has skyrocketed, and you have people that are like dying from withdrawals and stuff. And you also have people though that speak up, and so like it kind of becomes this divided. Cool. Yeah. And so like it becomes this thing where like some people hate Rocket because like their dad died from withdrawals, or they were robbed, because now crime is that much worse because people are trying to make money to get these expensive drugs. And then there's other people that stand up for her, and they're like, yo, like, I love Rocket because what she did, it made my dad like kind of wake up and get away from drugs. And now he's like trying to become part of the family again and stuff.
Guy Gardner revealed. Manny. I'm sorry. I just thought, I'm like, wait a minute. Let me just click on this and see who changed their stuff up. It's Manny.
And yeah, so like they kind of like, and you know, they like, how does Icon, he's very wealthy, you know, and he's a lawyer and stuff. But he also talks to Rocket about things like how you build generational wealth. And like, so what he does is he's basically been buying property for centuries, you know, and so now he's very wealthy because of that. And so he talks about generational wealth and how, you know, that can become like socially and economically divided. But like she has the opportunity to be able to help these people in these neighborhoods, you know, like if you can clean up these neighborhoods, you can help these people start to build that generational wealth. Because if they hold any property at all, it immediately goes up in value, you know. And so like there's like a ton of like socioeconomic stuff in there, and it's like very well divided between like left and right, you know. And so like it's always kind of on the verge of political stuff, but it's doing a really good job of like straddling that line and showing you multiple perspectives on everything, you know. And so it's just like a very unique superhero universe that's kind of like looking through the lens of like socio-political issues, you know. It's really cool stuff.
So another one I probably need to go back and catch. Reading, because I remember we talked about it when we first read the what was it, like the 80-page giant that they put out first?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like the overview.
Yeah. Milestone Universe one shot that they did, just kind of reintroducing readers to the characters. And that was the one that we talked about that I was most excited for. And then I kind of fell off all of them. You know, Static came out first. I'm like, man, this isn't too great. And I was excited for Hardware, and I just never got back to them. I'm like, I'm going to read them on the DCU app. And at this point, I guess it's probably just time constraint.
Yeah, I dropped Static after like 3 or 4. I really did not like his characterization. Like he was just kind of like a teenage douchebag, and I don't know. I like Static when he was like raised in a household by like optimistic parents, you know, and like the optimistic dad and the optimistic sister, and they're like, and so he kind of takes on that role, you know, and he was a very optimistic superhero. And then like this version, they were like, oh no, he's gonna be like really annoying and whiny and like no real outlook for anything. But they did. He actually showed up in Icon and Rocket 5 and 6. He's in there, and he seems a lot more like, you know, the other Static. Like he's real jovial. He's really cool. You know, he's got like all the like Spider-Man style quips and stuff. Like he showed up and he was great. So I don't know. It kind of sucks that his own title in this new relaunch is like kind of not great.
I went back and watched a lot of the episodes of Static on. You can watch a lot of them on YouTube, and they had it on. I can't remember at the time if they had switched all the way over to HBO Max at that point and stopped the streaming service of DCU or not yet, but it was available on whichever platform it was on. And I went back and watched a few episodes, and it's fun, dude. It had all the nostalgia feels to it and everything.
Yeah.
$40 of all classic material. That's not bad.
Yeah.
Phantom Cave Reviews. What is going on, my man? How are you doing tonight?
Hardware's been really cool too. I've liked that one as well.
When was the last issue of that dropped?
Last week or the week before? It's on issue number 4, I think. And at the end of issue 6 of Icon and Rocket, they also do like a little like post-credit stinger, I guess, because this really felt like the end of an arc. You know, like the first 2 issues were like kind of connected, and then these last 4 have really kind of like branched an arc, you know. And so at the end of this issue, they kind of like post-credit sting the Alma, what's his name, Alma or whatever, the guy that runs the corporation that had manufactured the gas that was released in the Big Bang. And he's like the primary antagonist of Hardware. So I imagine going forward, we're probably also going to see Hardware pop up over here or something.
Have they been crisscrossing the characters yet? Or they all just been...
Just Static. Static showed up in the last 2 issues of Icon and Rocket, but Hardware hasn't crossed over anything, and other than Static himself. But the cool thing about Icon and Rocket is they set up that like there are other aliens on the planet, and they've even brought in this like Amazonian style chick, and she's part of like this big organization. So like Icon and Rocket feels like a really big universe compared to like Static, where it's just like him and his family and neighborhood stuff, and Hardware, like he's kind of on the run and he's got like this network, but he's more of like a corporate greed plug-in, you know.
Mm-hmm. Look, yeah, he threw it in. The deleted scene was very creepy, talking about my man, the Joker, and that boom, boom. I just kept throwing that up randomly Friday on the Hangout. So yeah, I need to get back and try to get caught up on all that. I have in recent time been able to pick up all the original Milestone #1, still polybagged. So I picked up some from Tulp, and I can't remember where I got the other ones. Yeah, I can't remember, but I feel like they're all good books to have. They're still working on a Static movie that was announced at Fandom a while back. I think that's still in the works. I don't know if it's going to be an HBO Max thing or theatrical release or what. But I hope that's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to see like Terry McGinnis, Batman Beyond, like a live action of that, and Static Shock. Like I remember watching Static Shock as a teenager, just like, how is this not a bigger deal? Like, why am I the only person freaking out right now? Like I was so for sure he was going to turn into like a big screen character soon, you know, and it just never happened. I never understood that.
It did well enough for that show to be successful. You know, that it was just a kid show, and they hit on a lot of like serious topics in it. You know, it was handled really smart.
Yeah.
But moving on real quick, we got the Detective Comics issue that dropped this week, wrapping up the Shadows of the Bat storyline, and that was a good story. It kind of ended kind of very cliche, you know, Batman coming in, save the day, just shut everything down, and it didn't really leave it too open for what comes next, but there was a little cliffhanger at the end, just where you get a little bit of dialogue, and the Riddler, you find out it's a Riddler speaking, so I'm expecting the Riddler to take over the next villain arc in it, which I'm excited for. Overall, I would say the Shadow of the Bat thing was good. Did it need to be 12 issues? Probably not. I think there's about 2 or 3 issues in there that kind of treaded over the water the previous issue. Not really necessarily. We didn't really flesh out the Dr. Ware character, who was like our antagonist. We kind of just were introduced to him, given a little bit about his backstory. Then we threw him out of a skyscraper and killed him, and then let Scarecrow step up for the last 3 issues, being an inmate in the tower, just kind of stepping up and popping back in right after Fear State. And he didn't even really have a big hoorah or anything. And Ivan Reis was on the art for most of the run, but then toward the end it switched to a different artist, and now I got to find what he's working on next, because I kind of follow him around as an artist. Like, he's just a really good interior artist, man. He's fantastic. For me, I love his stuff. And Deep Target was cool, just an all-out fight, and we have this whole like invasion of the Body Snatcher kind of thing. Like, we don't really know who is who and who belongs in what timeline now and everything. And it was just a fun, action-packed issue, and they're trying to clean up the timeline now. So I'm expecting the next issue for that just to kind of ride off into the sunset happily. Did you read Department of Truth yet?
No, I'm officially like 5 issues behind on that.
I'm not going to spoil that. It's too much to get into, anyways. It's it dabbles with Nixon taking over the office of the department, introducing themselves to him and their role in the world, and they kind of play into how I don't want to say crappy of a guy Nixon was, but how crappy of a guy Nixon was. They kind of play into that a little bit with the moon landing, obviously, from the cover. But you kind of get to see where Lee Harvey gets his little promotion to director of the department. We both said we're not really reading this. By issue 3, Finn noticed the covers matched, and he's like, I want those. I'm like, you can have them. You can have them. So,
I haven't read any of those, so I don't know. I really don't have any expectations for it, but
they're not written well. Like, I would be excited to read the story. You know, I would like to have read this story. I would like the information in the book just to be in my brain, but they're not written well. Like, it's hard to go from speech bubble to speech bubble. It's the way that it's written is not how words are normally formulated in my head in those specific order. So I'm like having to when you read, your brain kind of does a little bit of predicting what's coming next, and you're able just to fill in the words as you're going because it's just the natural way you talk. the writing's a little off. I don't know how much Andelfinger has written before, but I don't know. I do know that in this, like, you see these people harness the morphing grid for the first time and use morphers to channel raw morphing energy so that it flows through the user. It's not like you're just pumped full of morphing energy. The morphers actually allow the morphing energy to flow smoothly through you so that you don't become unstable. So that was a cool concept they introduced. I did flip through it and try to get a little bit of what's what just to see if Dark Spectre popped up yet. It doesn't look like he did. So we're down to the ones that I know you read, plus Rogues, which you didn't.
No, I haven't read Action.
You didn't read Action?
No.
You have failed this city.
Actually, I'm probably gonna read it after we get off here, but man, that's been such an epic read. Like that, and stuff like Tom King's brilliant run on what's it called right now?
Human Target.
Yeah, Human Target. That absolutely genius run, like stuff like that. I usually try to save for like after everybody goes to bed and it's like nice and quiet. I can just like focus. So yeah, Action Comics I'm probably gonna read after this, but I have not got to it yet.
Yeah, they're doing a good job expanding the lore. I just wish that it was a smoother read. Yeah, because it's all characters that seem original to this book, so you don't really have any connection to them, and they don't really stand out as anything spectacular or their own. And it's an alien planet, so everything about it is foreign when you start. So there's nothing familiar to kind of get you rooted in it. And then the writing is kind of just a little choppy for me, and it just kind of takes me out of it. It's hard for me to get into it, but oh, come on, Ryan. Flo, and all right, cat's out of the bag. Flo was just not impressed with Rorschach. It didn't deliver for him. So all of this is all stemming from reading Rorschach. Heroin, same thing. Morphine. We never escape Tom King. All right, Godzilla versus Power Rangers was awesome. Right into the action. So I completely and 100% agree. I thought that this was a teetotal blast. And like Ryan mentioned in the beginning, this is my first, is it Colin or Cullen? What's his first name?
Bunn.
Cullen Bunn book. I don't know if I've read other stuff before and I'm just not aware of it. I don't track every creator. I sometimes pick them up and read them. But this was really fun. The Freddie Williams artwork, same guy that did the TMNT Batman crossovers. I really like it that they're drawn with like all these exaggerated features, and they're not meant to be very realistic looking. They're stylized, and I appreciated that. What'd you think of this read, Ryan?
I enjoyed it. Like overall, it was just like stupid fun for me. I thought like the dialogue was a little bit. It wasn't bad, but it was kind of weird because we've been reading like Ryan Parrott's Rangers for like 2 or 3 years now, and before that we had Kyle Higgins, and they kind of like kept that same brand, that same style dialogue and stuff. And then Cullen Bunn has a very different style of dialogue, so that did kind of stand out a little bit for me. And I really like how they got straight into the action. It was like pretty much like like we got to get Godzilla and the Power Rangers in the same book, so like they were on it, like they were really good about getting there. The flip side of that is, though, it also felt like almost nothing happened, it was like boom, 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 and then to be continued. I was like, man, that felt really quick, but I do appreciate at the same time like getting straight into the action and being able to enjoy it. So
yeah, looking
pros
back
and cons overall, I thought it was just like a lot of fun.
It was a really fast read, but they did cover a lot in it. If you go back and if someone asks you what happened, well, we found out that Rita found this temple of monasteries hidden where they keep something that's like a reality gem from the MCU almost, where she's able to get it and traverse through different realities and universes. And Green Ranger comes in after she slaughtered everyone, and he tries to take it out, but he gets drawn into the portal with them, and they wake up on another Earth in Angel Grove, where they're quickly introduced to aliens. And it's the same aliens that we saw in Godzilla versus Gigan. Gigan was in this as well, fighting Godzilla right from the start. And then we bring out the Megazord, not the Megazord, but the Dragon Zord. And that dude, as a huge Power Ranger fan, that made my day seeing that Zord get thrashed. Green Ranger is my favorite Ranger of all time, but this is Godzilla. You know what I mean? You gotta like. I was wondering how they were going to play that. I know that Godzilla is an IDW property, and this is a shared little event here with Boom. So I'm assuming that with this next one, now that we've got the whole team there, they're going to be bringing in the Megazord. So the Dragon Zord and the Megazord are not equal, So maybe they'll play into that, and the Megazord will clock one in. They'll have a 1-in-1, let them fight kind of thing. We'll have a 1-in-1 for both teams, and they're going to team up against Rita and the monsters that she has. But one of the first things that I thought about, because Godzilla was fighting Gigan, that was the movie that we got Jet Jaguar from in the Godzilla franchises, the giant robot, well, the robot that can become giant. So I wonder if they're going to pull a little fan service and bring Jet Jaguar in and let him join the fight. I think that would be pretty cool. Yeah, Godzilla will crush them. He did. He handled the Dragon Zord like it was made of paper mache.
Yeah. I mean, here was a great page that like kind of explains where I was coming, where I kind of come from is like all in one page. The Green Ranger is confused for a moment, realizes that there's like a giant monster, calls up the Dragon Zord, and gets right into the fight. Like all in one page. Like it's that fast paced, and yeah, so it is like, I mean, there's a lot of information in there, but it's like a super quick read because they do a lot of like very large pages and panels and stuff that, they do a great job of exemplifying the perspective of like these giant monsters and robots fighting,
Yeah.
But that also takes the pacing, really ramps
to
it up.
another level.
Yeah.
It was nonstop. It was really cool. And speaking to the writing, how you said it was such a dynamic shift from what we've been seeing, I actually enjoyed it a lot more, to be honest with you, because being so on cruise control almost with reading Power Rangers, it felt good to shake it up. And I have read all the old Hamilton stuff and a lot of the old Marvel stuff. I've got all that. And we've talked about that before, how I've mentioned how you almost need a thesaurus to read it because Billy's dialogue, they lean so heavy into the style of the show. This seemed more like that. Like Cullen Bunn is not the Power Ranger, like,
no, as a Cullen Bunn can tell you, he's probably very well steeped in Godzilla lore. He probably grew up watching all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. But he was probably slightly too old for Rangers when that came out.
So it almost seems like he might have went back and probably watched a handful of episodes just to see how these characters act. And it was perfect, though. That's all he needed. Because again, the story is not focusing on like a Ranger-centric theme. They're not even now in their own universe. But I feel like they all had their proper voices. The artwork was fun. It reminded me of the new artist that just took over Mighty Morphin. That was very similar. The colors were a lot brighter, whoever did the colors for this. But overall, such a fun book. If you're a fan,
I do love like the beefy, muscular Rangers. Like I always love when they show up. Right, like even Billy, man. Like every little like muscle fold and everything is just like.
Yeah, these dudes are all on steroids. They've got muscle.
Like, Barry Bonds hitting home runs.
It was cool. If you're a fan of either properties, the Power Rangers or Godzilla, you would be happy with this book. And if you're a fan of both, you have to have this on your pull list. Have to. Interesting that Zords follow the Rangers into a different universe. Well, you have to get into Power Ranger lore here. They didn't follow them. The Zords exist on the planet. Like, so on Zords prehistoric. They're on the Earth. They're in the Earth. They've been there for thousands of years from when they were first put there. So on Godzilla's world, there hasn't been a Zordon to put together a team to call the Zords forward. So if you bring the Rangers over there, they're already there under the ground. You know what I mean? Like they can call the Zords that are present on this Earth, which it's still Earth. It's just think multiverse. They land in Angel Grove that's destroyed and everything. And
like they're still in Angel Grove. It's just a different version of that where which makes you wonder, like were there Rangers in this universe and Godzilla's already taken them out, or were there no Rangers to prevent Godzilla from taking everything over? Like there's a million different ways to play this at this point. So it'll be interesting to see how it comes along. But honestly, I kind of hope that there are like a dead Ranger team in this universe that like got wiped by Godzilla, because that means the characters we're watching now, they're gonna have to get a lot smarter, you know?
Yeah, that would be pretty interesting. I just assumed that nobody ever went to the moon and opened Rita's capsule. Because if you're familiar with the Power Rangers show, it's every episode started with the intro. It's like you see some astronauts find Rita's tomb on the moon where she was imprisoned, and they open the lid and she pops out laughing. After 10,000 years, I'm free. Time to conquer Earth.
It had to be American astronauts.
Alpha. We need teenagers with attitude. So there hasn't been Necro Rangers. Let's do it.
Right.
Do it. That would be cool. But yeah, I'm excited to see where it'll go. The sky's the limit with this one. I hope they do something fun. All right. Slight spoilers for this. Not going to go into grave detail. You're only one issue behind?
Mm-hmm.
So you know how like it's touching on how Superman is actually building a following. His hope is starting to spread, and people are drawing S's on things. And it's well, it ain't Superman that's caused it. So this is a Midnighter centric issue. So this whole time, Midnighter's been there. We get glimpses of him every now and then when he's just walking through, wrecking any plans that Superman might have because he's up to his own shenanigans. We get to see and catch up with all of the Midnighter shenanigans up until this point. And dude, it is hilarious. And it is awesome. The dude is a teetotal BA. He's walking around with a red cape and a hood on, murdering people left and right, breaking chains. And people are like, why would you do that? And he just trash talks you. He's like, dude, get your head on straight. Like, you're Superman. He's like, I don't think Superman would have just ripped this guy's face off, but see y'all later. So everyone is getting this sense of they're getting the sense of power and the sense of hope. And it's from Midnighter doing all this stuff. It's awesome.
I'm so here for that. That's awesome.
It is awesome. And his whole goal, you already know his whole goal, where's Apollo? He started at the smallest peon. Where's Apollo? Who's that? He's in prison. Well, people handle the prison are over there. Thanks. Rip your head off and go over there. Free people just so that you can kill people. You got to get through all these prisons to kill that guy after he tells me what I want to know. Then that's just his war path to Apollo. It is, and the side effect is instilling hope in people's Superman's myth spreading, his story spreading. And of course, Superman's doing his thing with the people that he's surrounded by and in the arena, but the real fuel to the fire is Midnighter. And I thought that was awesome, man.
That's amazing.
Cult of Superman coming soon. Yes. People painting S's. Midnighter leaves the town and people are painting S's up and stuff. They just see this guy in a red cape walk by and murder. It's wild.
Yeah. I remember whenever they threw him in the prison and then like Midnighter's like, hey, Clark, let's get out of here. He's like, why would I leave? They just put me exactly where I need to be. Mm-hmm. He's like, are you an idiot? It just like goes away, He's like, all right, well, I'm gonna
go shut down the generator that runs the whole planet. I'll be back.
Yeah. So it's cool to see that they're gonna give us kind of everything he's been doing in the background.
Yeah, Midnighter Peacemaker crossover. That would be something to see.
Oh my goodness,
that would be something to see.
If they bring Midnighter into like season 2 of Peacemaker, that'd be awesome.
That'd be too much. That would be way too much. So the final book that I've got on the list. You got anything else on your list that we didn't touch on? I got one more, and that's Rogues.
Nah, I don't have anything else.
So Rogues was phenomenal. It's not like some crazy action-packed book. It is really well written. Joshua Williamson's writing it. This, I think, is like the first time that I've seen him do a mature read book. It is Black Label. Definitely recommended for 18 plus, 17 plus. And you're following Leonard Snart, Captain Cold. And this is years after they've hung up their weapons and everything of trying to take out the Flash. And they're all just, I say they're all. You focus on him. He's on parole. You have a horrible parole officer that's just poking and prodding at him, waiting to throw him back in jail and everything. And he's just had enough. And it almost reminded me of Michael Douglas's Falling Down that day, where just enough is enough. And he gets together a team because he wants to go take out Gorilla City. Doesn't want to take it out. Wants to sneak in, steal Gorilla Grodd's gold, and get out because he was in a bar with a bunch of other nobodies, bottom of the barrels, and he heard people talking about it, kind of thing. So he puts together a team of familiars and a couple unfamiliars because not everybody's still alive, and they go to break out. Who was it that they went to go break out? They went to go break out. I think it was Mirror Master, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't. Golly, I now forgot who they broke out. Whoever it was, they went to go break one person out of jail. Yeah, it was Mirror Master. And they get there, and he's not in jail. He's in a hospital and drugged up in rehab. And they get there, and it goes south. None of them are working together. And Leonard Snart ends up throwing in the towel. And they're all surrounded by the guards. And he just freezes every one of them and just starts busting their heads off and everything, and incriminates everyone on the team because nobody on the team wants to do this. They're all just kind of doing it a favor for this person or that person. But they're all in over their head now. And just the way that the book kind of slow built to that moment, the way that it kind of just portrays just how down that this person really is. There's a lot of relatable stuff to it. And it's really hard to put your finger on what made it so good, but it all just comes together and works really well. Fantastically written. Something Leo Max is doing the interior arts. They work perfect for the story. They're just good. They're not like exceptional, like painted interiors or anything, but it plays well with the story. The colors are kind of more pastel-y, like kind of setting the tone for like the mood and everything. It was just handled proper. But I have no clue how it's going to play out. I'm assuming that a lot of people are going to die, though.
So that's 2 books this week that froze people and then knocked their head off.
Loved it. It's why Black Label was created. Actually, FA was created for Bat, Dick, and Print. The first Black Label book in the history of it starts off with Bruce Wayne's Wang. Let's see. Pops keeps messaging me on IG. It's got to be necessary. Okay. Will do. That first one came in. That second one has not popped. But I'll be on the lookout for it. Never mind. It's here too. Let me see if this is the... Yeah, it's here too, Pops. So both of them are here. Cool. Rogues was good.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
How many issues is it? Do you know?
I'm assuming 3. That's what pretty much like 90% of the Black Label stuff is that is in the prestige format. Joker Harley Criminal Sanity was 7 issues with a special in the middle of it, but I don't think any of the other ones have been but 3 issues from what I can remember. And I picked up all of them except for the Birds of Prey one that they did. I don't remember why. At the time, I just didn't really care for how cartoony the artwork was or something, and I just had a huge pull. But all the other ones I picked up, I love these prestige format stuff, man. It really gives, I don't know. I know some people just don't want to deal with a different sized book to try to store, but I've got a box that's full of just Black Label at this point, and there's some other stuff in it, but primarily just Black Label. But I don't know. I think it really gives the book room to perform. Like the artwork in a lot of the cases, it really does better. Like Superman Year One, I couldn't imagine getting that in a regular size. Looking at JR's art, and I don't remember who the colorist was, but they were like a dream team. Or the Hellblazer book that was done, amazing. Looking at the interiors on that with those giant pages. But
Rise and Fall.
Yeah.
I still need to read that one.
You just started reading it?
No, I said I still need to.
Oh yeah, it's good. I think it's a Tom Taylor story.
That sounds right.
But it was really fun too. There's I don't know if there's been a Black Label book that I just like, oh, that sucked.
Yeah, I don't think I've read a bad one.
It's good stuff. You got anything else you want to touch on tonight? Otherwise, I think we can go ahead and bail out. That's all the books I got to review. There was no TV shows that dropped this week that I watched. I watched a lot of reruns through the week. I just rewatched a bunch of Jim Jeffries stand-ups. Kevin Hart had a new stand-up that dropped on Netflix this past week that was really good. I watch a lot of stand-up. Like when I'm at work or whenever I go to bed, I'm either watching like old movies that I've seen 1,000 times or stand up, just stuff that you don't have to sit there and watch. But watched Snyder Cut today. Monkey demanded that we put it on when we were flipping through HBO Max. Whenever she sees it, there's certain things on Netflix. If she sees, she'll tell you to play it, and whatever it is, she sees the little icon for the Snyder Cut. She wants to watch it. I think it was the first time she saw a real Batman. And in all seriousness, I think that's what it was. She figured out who Batman was from toys and stuff, and then when we had Snyder Cut on and she saw Batman, she actually freaked out for the first time, not in a negative way. She got all excited, like, this dude's real? Like, what? Dang. But she enjoys it. She'll sit there right next to me, and like she had a little bag of popcorn, She just sat there right next to me and just ate popcorn and just watched it. Like, this is perfect.
Right. I watched a bunch of Succession. That show's phenomenal.
Is that the space show?
No, Succession. It's about basically like a billionaire family, and like the inner politics of that. Like the dad is like always about ready to die, and so it's a lot of the like kids and family drama and stuff around like who's gonna inherit all this money, who's gonna take over the company, like all that kind of stuff, But very like it's done by Adam McKay, and so it's got like this like really like just like this amazingly keen sense of comedy running through it, but then it's like all this like really serious drama and like all the like politics of a $1 billion family, but it's really good.
That immediately made me think of Righteous Gemstones.
Yeah, but like less comedy, more drama oriented. And it does have a sense of like The Office or whatever, like the handy cam style. So you kind of feel like a fly on a wall in the rooms with these people as they're handling business that the regular world never sees,
I don't know if that would be able to keep my attention or not. It would have to be funny.
It's super engaging. Like it's not nearly as like crazy as The Office, but there is like some motion to the direction, but it's not nearly as like overt as like like in The Office when they're like literally there's a documentary crew here, like you just kind of like feel like you're very inside of these like secret circles and stuff. Well, Rogues is going to be 4 issues.
Oh wow, nice. It's close enough to 3. Close enough to 3.
I think he +1'd you.
Yeah, +1 me. Flo said Succession is good. Flo is like on the spear's tip of all things pop culture. That's where he lives, on the tip of the spear.
There you go. Yeah. I'm on like the 2nd episode of season 3, so.
Let's trade Tom King talk for Succession talk.
Worth it.
So be sure to be here next week, Flo, when we review Rorschach, starting with issue 1 and going through issue 12. We're going deep on each issue. That one I think threw a lot of people off just because they assumed that it was going to be about Walter Kovacs in some way, not just like a random story inside that universe. It threw me off until like about the 2nd issue. Like when I saw the 1st issue, I'm like, okay, that was it. And I had seen the Watchmen HBO show to kind of see how already like expanding that universe was going to look moving forward and not really using the same previous characters, but just more like the imprint that they left from their time here. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. The ending was a little soft though.
Speaking of, did you talk about did y'all talk about who wrote Watchmen? Alan Moore. His BBC Maestro class came out? No? Oh man. I sent it to like my entire family, like, hey, if you're thinking about getting me something for Christmas. So I'm pretty excited about that one. It's like basically like a master class. But through BBC, apparently they have their own program as well. But
Tyler,
I'm
we need
excited to
more.
check that
We
out.
need more context, real quick. I need more context to this. Will Smith punched Chris Rock on the Oscars. Not a joke. So it
Are the
looks like
Oscars even happening? Is that a thing
I
right
just
now?
I just looked it up, and February 29th. Here's what Will Smith has to say about Chris Rock and that Oscars. There's already stuff about him and Chris Rock. Had was spotted leaving. What are they? Was this a stunt? Rorschach from the Watch movie was also Freddy Krueger in remake and started in the 70s Bad Bears movie. Yeah. He was also in the Human Target TV show as the tech guy. Jackie Earl Haley is his name. He was also in Tropic. What is it called? Jackie Moon. What was it called? Where the tropics? Semi-pro. He was the burned out hippie dude who made the half court shot. What is going on? Well, be careful. It's dark outside, Kyle. Bel Air. I did watch the first episode, but I think that's all I have available to me.
Was it any good?
Yeah, it was really good.
Hmm.
It was surprisingly good. Rob's Fat Sacks was telling me it was good, and I watched it. I liked it, but I'm not going to do a paid subscription to Peacock.
No.
Just because I have
That's the
enough.
thing. Like same thing with like Halo.
Yeah, dude, that was on the thing to talk about. Chris had watched it, but he unfortunately couldn't make it. I'm excited to watch that. But
yeah, I really want
$4.99.
I also don't need another subscription. So,
So when Halo is over, I'll do what I suggest to other people who don't have HBO Max. There's sweet spots. Like when everything was coming out during COVID lockdown, there's a sweet spot when you had like the Snyder Cut, Kong versus Godzilla, Mortal Kombat, and something. There's like 4 movies that were all there at the same time. That if you paid for 1 month of HBO, you can spend a week where you can watch them all, and then they'll start falling off for a little bit because they were on for 30 days, then they went off for a few months, and then they would come back to their natural rotation. But I'm just going to wait till it wraps up, do a month subscription maybe. There's nothing else on there I want. I have Paramount TV on my YouTube TV, like my actual, that's where I get like televisions from YouTube TV service. And Paramount's a channel on there, so I'm expecting Halo to get put on rotation with that. Like Yellowstone and all that's on there, but they didn't put the Halo on the YouTube TV channel for it yet. It's only on the app. So if it doesn't pop up on there, I'll pay $4.99 to binge watch it, I guess, because I do want to see it.
Yeah, I want to see it. I just don't need another subscription right now. So I'm probably gonna wait till it's all done and then do a free trial or whatever they offer, or get a month or whatever, But I want to see it. I think that's. I really enjoyed. Like Halo was cool, but Halo 2 it really just like kicked into high gear, and Halo 3 was a slightly disappointing. But I mean that series and that franchise is. I don't know. That was a really good period in life, And so I want to see what they do with this show. I don't imagine it'll be as good as the games, but maybe they'll surprise me.
Well, it's set in its own universe. It's not set on the continuity of the games.
Yeah.
Yeah, which like the people that are complaining about that it just reminded me like when it comes to the comic stuff, the comic book movies are their own thing. They might draw inspiration from certain stories or this or that, but the way that the events happen and play out is not how it happens and plays out in the books. So Halo is no different. That's familiar characters, settings, places, people, but events are going to be completely different. They're not trying to. They're not doing a faithful telling of the game. That's not their goal.
Yeah. No, but I mean, I think there's like a certain, at least for me, there was a certain epicness to playing through Halo the first time where like you have no clue what is coming next, and like all of a sudden you're just like thrown into this battle with like all these aliens. And like the first time you come into like you see the Halo itself, and it's just like massive, that perspective. Like I wonder if they can wow me again with this, or if like all of that is lost on me at this point because I've already experienced so much of the Halo universe, Red versus blue is amazing, yes. I've seen the first 3 episodes of Picard. It's like incredibly well done and also like kind of boring. But I mostly know of Picard and Star Trek and stuff from like growing up as a kid with my dad watching it all the time. So and him and my mom, they love it. Like they're never into like streaming services and stuff, but as soon as Picard was announced, they like got Peacock and they love Picard and Discovery and all that. So
the slap was fake. Thank you, Paul. It like people in the comments on this video act like they so a while back it looks like Chris Rock did some digs on Jada and Will at the Oscars, and Will like said it didn't bother him or anything. So I guess like they just did this as a stunt. So he went up there and Chris Rock has his hands behind his back on the stage, and Will just enters the stage and comes up and does a slap, and Chris Rock, the way he moves, you can tell that it looked premeditated on both their parts, you know?
yeah. Oh, that would be cool to have like an actual poster from that far back.
Yeah, so I think it was just a little stunt. That's what I'm seeing.
That's sad to hear, Taylor Winder. Yeah, I've seen like the first 3 episodes, and like it's there's a lot of like really quality acting and stuff, but yeah, I kind of got the impression the writing wasn't like I mean, it felt like they didn't really care that much about like what the plot or the story of the season was. It was just about getting Picard in a bunch of scenes, like doing some amazing acting against other pretty strong actors, you know. So, but it sucks to hear that it went that far down the tube.
Now I want to get to the bottom of all this.
What are they chismoso?
It might be serious. I don't know. I wrote a Star Trek motion picture movie poster from when my dad worked at the theater in the late 70s. That's pretty cool. Take it easy, Mark Howard. And please, if you get the chance, please come back and discuss books with us. We do not take offense to dissenting opinions. We actually prefer it. I like to help out whenever I can. Hope you have a good night. Now I'm in the metro with my rollerblades. Well, hold on tight. Hold on tight. That sounds right. Sit down. Sit down, Kyle. Yeah, it's almost 11 o'clock, and I'm about to go to bed. Hope you all have a good night. I appreciate you hopping on. Ryan, I'm glad you were here. Always have a blast, my man. We need to do this more often. And for anybody that follows the channel, I got a lot of content coming because I have the Masters coming up. So I've got a ton of stuff recorded and set to go. And so there's going to be all kinds of stuff. And I might not be popping up on lives as often for the next 2 weeks. I will be here every Sunday at 9 o'clock, though. That is not going to change. So until next time, as always, I'm Mark. That's Ryan, but we are Legion.